Hey, what's going on, Shrimp Keepers? I am currently at Pat's house. He's one of the cafe members. I'm down here in Columbus speaking this weekend. I just talked yesterday. It's Saturday. We're going around doing a little bit of a fish room tour, which is awesome. And so the first stop is Pat's house, and I got to show you this. So you walk down. This is Pat's first. This is like his basement level, more or less. And this is his man cave. I mean, it's awesome. His house is beautiful, and we got a lot of the members down here. But you walk downstairs. And here's Pat. What's going on, Pat?
Hey, how you doing, Ron?
Good. Hey, so tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in the fish hobby?
Since I was about 6 years old, I've been keeping fish.
Yeah?
Nothing seriously until about 1991 when we moved to Columbus and found out there were a lot of fish clubs around the area.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just kind of escalated from a few tanks
To a lot of tanks.
Yeah.
Now, how many tanks do you currently have down here?
Well, I got about 80 in this room.
Oh, wow.
Some smaller tanks and a few bigger tanks in the other room.
Gotcha. Now, I'm probably just going to go tank by tank, and then if you could just tell us a little bit about each species, maybe. And,
These are some fundal panchex gardneri. Pretty common killifish.
I mean, all killies are so beautiful. Gotcha. So you keep some cories, too, then?
Yeah, I've just started to do that.
Because you said you bred guppies for a long time, right?
Yeah, guppies, livebearers.
Okay, now what's your favorite right now? You got a ton of these. These are the Pixie Snails?
Yeah.
Now, how do you breed so many? What do you feed them? What do you do?
Well, they weren't breeding so good. I had them in a tank of platies. I took them out of the platy tank and they went crazy. I think the platies were eating the young.
Yeah, you got a ton of
I just
these.
feed them some romaine lettuce, throw in some wafers for them.
Gotcha. Now, do they spawn in clutches or what do they do?
Yeah, they have big masses of eggs.
Gotcha. Do you see any in
I don't
there?
see any right now. It's on and off.
Very
see the
good.
clutch
Do they
eggs.
spawn above the water or underneath the water?
Just under the water.
Just under the water?
Yeah.
Now, what do we got up here?
Up here we have some killifish. Various types, which I'm just getting into, so I have to learn the scientific names.
Gotcha. Now, tell us a little bit about each one of your setups. 'Cause I see two different types of filters. Looks like you keep some live plants in each one. Are there reasons for that?
Yeah, from keeping live bears, I found out that if I had a bunch of guppies in a tank, the water pH was changing rapidly to down to 5 even. And then when I changed the water, it would go back up to 7 and just jerk the fish around. Water's hard, but it's not well buffered.
Gotcha.
So I put coral gravel in the box filters to keep the pH stable.
Okay, so do you know what your pH stays at, roughly?
It's around 7.2.
It's around 7.2.
Yeah, I actually did a little study to check that. I measured the pH for a while with and without the coral gravel, and it made a big difference.
So the coral gravel stabilized it big
It
time.
stabilized it. It didn't really raise it, but it kept it stable between water changes.
That's really good. So that's what you keep in. What are these plastic filters called again?
Box filters.
Box filters?
Box filters, yeah.
And you just put some different. What do you put in there as the actual biological?
I just put in some filter floss.
Some filter floss.
Old school.
Hey, it's effective though.
Yeah.
And if it stabilizes the pH, that's good.
Well, and then I got a foam filter in there too that provides biological filtration.
Okay. Now, do you ever
You can pull out one, change it, and still keep your biological filtration.
do you ever clean the filters?
Yeah, once every 6 months.
And once every 6 months?
Depending on the tank, how many fish, I'll pick a bunch of filters out.
Gotcha. Now, are these rainbows down here?
No. Those are blue-tailed gideas. It's a live bear.
Wow, you have a
which is
ton of them.
Endangered in the wild. It's a Mexican fish.
Those are
But
beautiful.
I must have 3 or 4 tanks around here where they're just going nuts.
Gotcha. Now, do you currently sell these?
I take them to auctions on and off.
Do you? Now, how much do these normally sell for? Just a rough.
At auctions,
Yeah.
I can hardly give them away.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they're beautiful.
You never know. It just depends.
Yeah, it depends on who's at the
But
auction.
they're very prolific, and there's a lot of live bears around the Ohio area.
Yeah.
Live bear enthusiasts, so they
Oh,
probably
yeah.
already have them.
Now, what got you? Because you said you did guppies for a long time. What made you decide to change?
Just decided to do something different.
Just something different. Did something for a long time, and just needed a change.
Yeah. Well, I was doing live bears too, guppies and cichlids and a lot of things, but I just looked one day and found I had 16 varieties of guppies.
16 varieties. Holy
and that's,
smokes.
Really, to do good, like selecting and culling, you need to concentrate on a few.
Yeah, you need to focus in on your few species that you're great
so
at.
I narrowed down, then I decided to get rid of them altogether and move on to something else.
Gotcha. Well, something that I really like that you do that I know we pointed out earlier is you buy these, and what are these? Just
ID
like
card.
ID card holders, like lanyards.
Yeah.
And you can get these off Amazon or eBay, I'm sure.
Amazon, eBay, or just search on, do a Google search, you'll find companies selling.
Yeah, and that's a great idea because you just put your information in there and you keep track of each tank. And what's the big tip that you said to us that we wouldn't even have known?
Put the opening in the back.
Put the opening in the back.
The water doesn't run down.
Yeah, you get fish food and all kinds of stuff in there. Now, one thing that I know that I'm very curious about is your filtration or your water change system. Like, can you just explain real quick how this works? Because you got all these pipes running in the front of the tank, and it looks like they go down to a drain.
Yeah.
So, do you start a siphon in these ones? And that
This came out of the guppy breeders use this design. I got it from a guppy group.
Gotcha. Here's a better picture of
Yeah,
it.
this shows it better. Basically, this stays at your water level. This stays full of water, so you
Okay.
fill that. And this, just use a turkey baster to squirt water and fill this up so there's no air bubbles in it.
Okay.
And then it just keeps
It-
the water level here. I drip water in the back from a separate line.
Wow. Now,
You
how?
can't go too fast because these are narrow.
Okay.
So basically, I drip water for 45 minutes.
Gotcha. So, now do you
And each
filter your
tank.
water at all, or is that just straight?
Well, it goes through a
Here, we'll go over and look at that.
micron whole house filter and then a carbon filter. Mainly to
Wow,
take
this
out
is
the
impressive.
chlorine. Takes
No,
out any impurities too, but mainly this is dechlorinated,
that's very
so
impressive.
you don't have to drip dechlorinator into it.
Where do you get this from?
Okay, so this just comes from the cold water tap. I
Gotcha.
plumbed into it. Goes through here. It's controlled by just your lawn sprinkler type controller, Rainbird
Yeah.
lawn sprinkler, and the valve comes with that. So that's just a typical lawn sprinkler control.
Okay, so it reduces the pressure probably a lot.
Well,
Or it
from
just
there,
controls
goes
the timer.
It goes into a couple 55-gallon drums. So all this
Oh,
controls
okay.
is refilling the drums.
Okay. Well, that's very cool.
And then to pump into the aquariums, there's just a water pump in this drum coming up to here. And it goes through here to the...
And it goes through
To
all
the
the
tanks.
all the tanks. Now, the filters that you said, what do you said one's carbon and one's what?
This is a 5-micron filter.
5-micron filter.
Just take out particles.
Now, if someone wanted to buy these, where would they get them from?
You can get them online. I forget the company I got them from. There's
Gotcha.
several companies.
Okay. Pretty cheap, or?
These are about $80, and these are maybe 20.
Okay. Do you know how many gallons they do, roughly?
This has been going for, you can calculate it, they give specs. This
Gotcha.
has been going for 2 years. And
Okay.
I calculated it could go for 4.
Wow.
I'm not sure
So they
that-
last a long time.
Yeah, I'm concerned stuff will start growing in there, so I may start ordering this like a 20-inch.
Gotcha.
I may order a shorter one if I can next time. So
Okay.
I change it every 2 years instead of...
Change it every 2 years.
Yeah, and they're probably proportionately cheaper.
Gotcha. And how much? Do you know how much the actual filters are? Like the filter cartridges, because the whole thing was $80. Yeah.
The cartridges are $80.
The cartridges are
Yeah,
$80.
the canisters are going to cost you, I forget, 50,
Okay.
somewhere between $50 and $100.
Yeah.
They're not too bad considering they last forever.
Gotcha. Now tell me this. So this is your spawning rack, more or less, correct?
Yeah. This is for the small killifish hatching, and
Okay.
where I have 1 or 2 small killifish. I just put this together, so I'm kind of working on it.
Gotcha. There's my fiance in the background. She's just hanging out. So now, what kind of spawn was this? This was your first. Now I didn't hear you.
That was
So
my first dirt spawner.
your first dirt spawner. Got it.
Well, actually the second time. The first one I killed them all.
Oh no.
I was too nice with the water changes. They didn't like that.
They didn't like that. So killifish, a little tip for them is when they're spawning or when they're
Well,
when you're.
these killifish at least.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them, but these are sensitive to water change.
Now tell me the species this is again.
This is a Nothobranchius racovi.
Okay.
Very beautiful fish.
They are stunning. I mean, you really can't pick it up with the light. But they're beautiful. Gotcha.
It's part of the reason I switched from guppies.
Just because of the color?
Oh, Jeremy was restarting up the Columbus Killifish group, and I've
Now-
seen some of these fish. So.
Do you belong to that group then?
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you want to see, or Amanda? Little baby cories. Now, what type of cories are these?
Those are the Violetta.
Violetta.
So cute.
Now, how old are these? They're probably only 2-3 weeks.
It should have a birthday hatch date 7, 8, 10. So,
8, 10?
2 or 3 weeks old.
Gotcha. Yeah, they're tiny. Now, do you find a problem with only using these? Are what, 2.5 gallons?
Mm-hmm.
Do you find a problem with that, with the parameters swinging, or
Not with babies. But
not with the babies?
then again, I haven't checked the parameters.
Gotcha. You just kind of let them go and see what happens. Here, let's sneak over here and look at these things. Now, over here, is this mainly your Plecos, or still a little bit of everything?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
I know there's some honeycomb. What are these honeycomb?
I forget what they're called.
Wild
These are the
Cadia.
Cadia prugai.
Gotcha. These are pretty.
These
I mean, we
wood catfish.
wood catfish. Got it.
Oh, really pretty. I haven't been able to get those to breed. I think Jeremy has.
Oh, okay. We're going to see Jeremy's fish room later today, and from what I hear, it's pretty impressive. And you have a ton of Java moss. And you said you just throw this stuff
Yeah,
away.
You thought
So-
you had the monopoly. of
Yeah,
Java.
I don't anymore. I told him. I think I told you, Pat, yesterday. You said sometimes you throw it away. I told you I'd bring a trash bag and you could throw it away in my bag. Okay. Oh, here's some rainbows down here too. Oh no, these aren't rainbows, are they?
More of the blue-tailed Gideas.
Holy smokes, you got a ton of these.
Endangered species, except in the fish rooms.
Except in the fish rooms. Yeah, this is awesome. And I'm shocked. You keep your humidity at 44%. That's pretty impressive.
It's pretty low here.
Yeah.
Especially
The
coming in the
male
winter.
that's in here somewhere is gorgeous.
The tops and the tanks help a lot.
I don't know where it went.
Oh, the tops help a lot. I don't know where he is either.
But it's beautiful.
Gotcha.
Who's in there?
Here, I'll let you come around and look. I do
Oh,
not
okay,
see
more of those Gardner eyes.
Gardner eyes.
Mm-hmm. Very common killifish, but actually,
Yeah.
that's why they're popular. They're so
I tell you,
pretty.
they're so pretty. Killifish are stunning when they're adults. Now this is a rainbow. What type of rainbow is this?
Those are the Bozeman eye.
Bozeman eye?
Like in the big tank, these top big tank.
Oh, we gotta go look at that.
They grow very slowly.
They grow very slow. Some tiger barbs.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Those are the females. I got the males down here.
You got the males down
I was
here.
separating them so I could plump up the females.
Oh, the males are scared.
Yeah.
Then you look at the
Since I
females and they
moved
kind. Well, no, they're kind of
Yeah, they're kind of
a little skittish too.
They come out when you feed them.
Oh yeah.
Here's those adorable.
Very, very cool. Well, let's go look at the room next door. I know you don't have a lot of it set up anymore. Now, are you planning on setting it back up?
Yeah, it's in transition. I may put up some bigger tanks in that room.
Gotcha.
Since I have so many small tanks in here, I suddenly found myself with all 10-gallon tanks going.
Hey, that's
So
all
I needed
right.
something bigger. to put
Yeah.
them out.
Well, let's go look next door. The central system that he has in here is actually extremely impressive. I really like it. It's a little dark and it's not running right now. But this is where you used to do the guppies, right?
Yeah.
And this was your original fish room. Now you are selling this rack, or are you planning on setting it back up, or?
I would sell it if I could. It's hard to get a buyer for the whole system.
It's hard to get a buyer because it's probably what, at least $1,500 for the whole system. Yeah, it's expensive because the pump on it is massive. Now I love this. These are the. Whoops, sorry, I accidentally flipped the camera on. These are the Mickey Mouse platies, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Now is this a species you've been breeding for a while, or?
I've had them for a while.
Gotcha. So I know these are fairly
Couple
popular.
years, yeah.
That one's huge. All right, now these are the Bozeman. These are the breeders, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let me try to get it so there's not a glare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
babies up in the top of the tank too.
Yeah.
Even outside.
Even outside?
I don't know if you can.
Let me try to
they're
find
very
some.
Tiny.
Yeah, there's some up there. I don't know if it's gonna pick it up on the camera. Little bit. Yeah, there's one. You guys can see it. But this breeder, what would you call this? A breeder box, more or
Yeah.
less? This thing is nice. And where you don't remember where you got it?
I can't remember the name of the company.
Like
got
the
it at
clarity
AC,
on
and
it
someone was selling it.
is beautiful. And it's got little screens on both sides.
Mhm.
So there's good water flow through it. Now, how long do you keep the babies in here for?
It's the first time I used it. So
First time you used it, so it's.
Until I get big enough to move,
Oh man.
or I find a place for them.
Well, this tank we were just busting on Pat about. If you're a shrimp keeper, this is a dangerous tank. The Hydra is taking over. I did the talk yesterday. I talked about Panicure kills Hydra. I don't think I've talked about that on the YouTube channel, but as you can see, there's like these little parasites that they have tentacles on them. Let me see if I can get a better picture. I know there's one on the glass right here. It won't focus in. But there's little Hydra in here. There's a couple on the back glass. And there's Pixie Snails supposedly eat these, which Amanda was talking about. And so are you going to try that, or are you going to get the Panicure? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna try I'll try this Pixie Snails. Just
You might as
see
well,
if that
since you
works.
have a million
Yeah.
of them. Now, what type of cories are these? These they almost look like the skunk cories.
Oh, Melina.
Melina?
Yeah. Melina.
Melina. They're very pretty.
Cool.
Now, you do a lot of plants, and they're pretty healthy. Everything looks pretty good. Now, what are these guys?
Those are some, the rainbows, I'm trying to think, they're a dwarf rainbow.
Gotcha. He's an interesting looking male, this one.
Mm-hmm.
That big
The
hunchback.
hunchback. They're pretty old.
Yeah. All right.
Bred them for a while, and now they're just in retirement.
Well, Pat, thank you so much for showing us your fish room. If there's one piece of advice you can give anyone that's listening, what would it be as far as fish keeping goes, or shrimp
Say,
keeping?
if there's a local fish club in your area, join it. There's a lot
There
of
you
expert
go.
people.
Oh, yeah.
I've learned a lot from people 30 years younger than myself.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's always something new to learn.
You're always learning, so
Yeah.
that's great advice.
And have fun.
You got to have fun. Well, hey, all you shrimp keepers, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for following along. Thank you, Pat, for letting us look through your fish room. It's always good to see other people's ideas. But hey, guys, I got a couple more of these videos coming up, so hopefully you enjoyed, and I will talk with you guys soon. Later.